Hey friends, Victor Pisano with Charge Up. As part of our Building Champions Mindset series, I'm so excited to have a great friend, Ashley Walters, join us today. And what's amazing about this is I was great friends with her dad years ago in high school, and that friendship just carried on. So to see the success of both Ashley and her brother in the classroom as well as on the field has been amazing. And I'll tell you what really sets Ashley apart for me is she has one of the most disciplined work ethics that I've ever seen. When she sets her mind to something, there's no stopping her. She's going to accomplish it, which is why I really wanted to get her on the show because she's taken that same mentality as a student, then as an athlete, and she's now doing it as an entrepreneur. And it's a beautiful thing to see because as many times as I speak, I tell people that the mindset you create as a student athlete will carry with you for the rest of your life if you're disciplined and you're focused. And this is the perfect person to learn from. Ashley, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Victor. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely, absolutely. You're thriving. You're having a lot of fun doing what you're doing. I see so much social media. Are you just loving it right now?
Yeah, of course, it's a grind sometimes. There's ups and downs of entrepreneurship, but we get through it. The highs are high, the lows are low, but if you just stay steady through it all, it turns out being okay.
Kind of sounds familiar. Same
Yeah.
approach you took as an athlete and a student, and it
Oh,
works.
yeah. 100% in the game of softball for sure.
So let's talk about some of the accomplishments that Ashley's had. First off, graduate of Texas A&M, class of 1991. Tell them your class.
Class of 2018.
A little bit of a discrepancy, but we're not going to worry about that there. Now listen to these accolades. She was named to the 2015 All SEC Freshman Team, 2016 All SEC First Team, 2018 SEC All Defensive Team. Now here's the amazing part. Talk about a career at A&M. She ended it with the school record holder for doubles at 50, ranked sixth in RBIs at 160, ninth in putouts with 1,131, and 10th in games played at 238. As for walks, she had 95. I mean, she played an all around game. Whether it was on offense or defense, she was working hard. She's played professionally for 3 years, but like I talked about, she's an entrepreneur and she's taking that same focus and applying it to what she's doing today. So I'm going to include her information, but you got to follow her on some of her links just to learn a little bit more and see how she takes that athlete's mindset and has put it into her career just to be successful, knowing that discipline and that repetition works. So let's get jumping into this thing, Ashley. I've been so excited to finally get you and throw some questions out your way because I think our audience will really, really benefit from what you offer. So, based on your experience as a 4 year starter at an incredible school, the best in the country, if you ask me, but on some great Aggie softball teams, what are some of the most special moments that you recall that still drive you today to be your best self?
Yeah. I think I specifically remember, of course, 2017. Like it's the year we went to the World Series. It's probably like typical to say that because I only went 1 year. But I even before the World Series, I think like our most special moments as a team were at Tennessee. Like when we fought really hard to come back and Tennessee had beat us a lot before in the same season, so we knew like we were the underdogs, and just like the experience of coming together as a team, as an upperclassman, needing to step up. And for me, of course, I know Tori, Lexi, Erica know this. That's more uncomfortable for me to step out in a way of vocally step out. I'm more of a lead by example type of person. So just being in that uncomfortable state, having to play the position that's like the quarterback on the field, of course, it gets you into that kind of different space where you need to step in and be a leader. I think those kinds of moments, those grinds, have really made me to be the person I am today. And I think the camaraderie and bringing the team together is one of the hardest things to do on a D1 top tier team like that. So bringing everybody together is definitely something that helps me throughout my life today in my career.
So you talked about stepping up in a leadership position. Was that encouraged by the coaching staff, or was it something that you sensed that you needed to personally do?
I think a little bit of both. Obviously in my position, I can't like just fall back and be quiet, you know, even though I am more of a quiet player, lead by example, like quiet type of catcher. Coach Evans definitely all the time, she would be like, you need to step up and do this, like encouraging me to do different things and say, hey, like the girls on the team, they respect your voice and they're going to listen to you. So step up when you need to, you know?
And that was out of your comfort zone, wasn't it?
Definitely out of my comfort zone.
Did it ever become comfortable?
At times, I think it's just all how you perceive it, you know? I mean, if you perceive it as, oh, I'm going to come off as mean or rude or what are they going to think of me? You're going to be thinking about it a lot, right? But if you think about, hey, this is for the betterment of the team. I don't really care how it comes off to them. That's up to them how to perceive what I say, you know? I think it's all up to mindset and how you perceive what you're saying.
Because if I look back and remember just from attending games or watching them, I saw a distinct difference in your junior and senior year. You were much more emotional. When I say emotional, you were excited. Like you were really having a lot of fun playing the game. You always gave 100%. Like you were so committed to the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But I saw you celebrating more with other players, especially, you know, with Lexi and with Tori and the others around there. I mean, you not only played the field general, but you had a
Yeah.
little bit of an emotional connection with each that you knew exactly. I don't know if it was making a look, saying the right thing, or just the right body language. But you had total control your junior and senior year, and you looked comfortable in that position.
Yeah. I mean, you watched me when I was younger too, not even in
Yeah.
college. So at that point, in like my perspective now, at that point in my life, I was thinking, oh, this is a job. This is like, we need to win, it needs to get done, versus my junior and senior year. I'm like, you know, this is it. I'm an upperclassman. I'm in college. I have 2 more years. We got to have fun. You know, it's got to be about the team instead of about just, it is about winning, but wins and losses are going to come. And you got to stay in the grind with your team and not neglect that part of the game.
Yeah, because it's so much based off the memories you're going to have, and you want those positive memories because you're not defined by the game. Your
Right.
value isn't based on your performance. When you guys get together, it's going to be based off of those moments, and those
Mm-hmm.
moments don't have a score. Those moments have a situation, and it's
Yeah.
how you react. What's something I do want to share? I love talking to athletes who played in a small town because you never ever have to assume they only played one sport. So
Mm-hmm.
at Center Point, I want you to tell people how many sports you played.
I played 5. I played volleyball, basketball, all 4 years. Volleyball, basketball, track, softball, and powerlifting, all 4 years.
Yeah, so your off season was Christmas Eve and Christmas Day.
Yeah,
That
pretty
was it.
much.
Yeah, see, that's what's phenomenal is so many kids specialize in one sport, but that's the beauty of a small town high school is you just want to compete and you just want to have fun. So you start doing other things,
Mm-hmm.
and most of the athletes follow you. So you really become a tight knit group. What characteristics have been in your mind? What are you most aware of that you've kept to being you in terms of core values and non-negotiables? What hasn't changed?
Since high school?
Yeah, let's
Or
go since high school. I think that's fair because I don't think you made really any changes from high school to today, at least the person I know.
yeah. I know I always try to think to be the hardest working person on and off the field. Like if there's something wrong, I'm a person that can't just sit there and say, oh, I'll get it tomorrow. You know, I need to go out there and hit a couple extra reps or ask a coach to say, hey, can you stay after me or stay with me after practice so I can work on whatever, you know, it's in my core to give it 110% versus kind of brushing off things that I could work on.
Did it make it easier having a father who was a coach and a brother who was an athlete as well when you were at home in high school?
Oh, for sure. That was definitely a major factor of like where I am today, and having somebody to push me. And then also Aaron, of course, like I would have had no one to go to the weight room with, to go throw with, all every day in the summer, even on Christmas Eve, we'd go to the weight room in the morning, and come back and have our present opening with family, and on Christmas, stuff like that. So definitely having someone there to go with it through you helps a lot.
What are some of your non-negotiables?
For me, diet a little bit. Like, I wish I knew more in high school. I will say that. But senior year on, I kind of learned a lot more. And then in college, I learned a lot more. That's a big factor in playing sports, right? And then, of course, non-negotiables is always being there for fans. I think when I realized like later in high school, don't ever, or in college too, don't ever walk away from a fan. Like, we're always going to, like, we're there for them. It's not always about whether we win or lose. The little girls are there to watch you because they want to be where you are, right? And it's kind of like you got to realize and be grateful for where you're at versus just still sulking over a loss, and just be with those people and those girls so we can continue to grow the game,
Absolutely. It's a pay it forward concept because you used to be one of those kids who would look with admiration at some of the incredible players when you were younger.
Mm-hmm.
And, being a part of the NPF, like that was my favorite part of the game was when it was over and watching the autographs and the pictures. People took as much joy in that as they did the game.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I know, you're going from scrap yards and now you're going to go to California. It's like a whole new group of fans that you're going to get to encounter, which is
Mm,
going to be really exciting for you. That's going to be really
yeah.
exciting.
I'll tell you, like, my first year with Scrapyard, it would be like 10 o'clock sometimes at night, and we'd have a huge line of fans that we'd have to
Yeah.
sit through. And still, sometimes I think back to like little moments where I think, oh my gosh, that's a long line. And then I'm like, you know, they could be worse. Like, you should be grateful to be in this spot. This is where you've always wanted to be. Like, you should be thanking them for coming.
It's the
That's what I think.
reward for the effort. It absolutely is the reward.
Yeah.
So some of the discussions I have with a lot of athletes is turning obstacles into opportunities. I know now you're doing a lot of lessons and you're assisting a lot of student athletes at all levels. What are some of the obstacles that you're seeing that are becoming more prevalent with high school athletes that you're having to work with them through and make them understand so they can grow and improve?
I will say I wish we worked a lot more on the mental game, the
You
mental
ever
aspect.
heard you ever heard of charge up?
Yeah, there you go. I wish more people like knew. I'm going to start referring you more. I will, Victor. Well,
Perfect plug.
my
Perfect plug.
lessons. Because I think girls, and I definitely experience this, like my journey through softball, like to now, is it can be so overwhelming and you can get so burnt out. I've seen so many people quit because they're like, this level of softball is not for me. And it's like, if you take time to, of course you're going to have to work hard. If you want a D1 scholarship, you're going to have to work your butt off. Like, it's not like, that's not a joke. But I think if we worked more on the mental aspect of the game too, especially with this game, mental aspects in the sport in general, and in any sport, especially at the high school level, because of course, like girls especially, they're developing they have a lot of noise around them. They have a lot of people talking at them, which I know I had, and you just don't know what is right or wrong. And that's for me outside of the game, just the mental aspect to help them with in and out of the game.
And it's so much different. I mean, I go back to when your dad and I played. We didn't have social media, so
Yeah, exactly.
we played a game and it was over. We went out to eat. We hung out with our friends, and the next day you went to practice.
Hmm.
And today's a whole different thing because you get to see stats like this.
You have a lot of
And
comparison,
oh,
people comparing themselves to, oh, well, this girl hit a home run. Why I'm just sad now, like I didn't do that. I went 0 for 3,
absolutely.
you know?
They never they look at the screen but never in the mirror.
Yeah.
They don't see what they have inside. And we mentioned it earlier. they keep putting value and performance on the same level.
Yeah.
And that's probably with high school athletes, the most dominant message is you have a personality, you've got character, your
Mhm.
uniqueness is absolutely what's going to be remembered, not your batting average, not your
Or,
comparison on ERA, none of that stuff. Be
and I wish
you.
I knew that earlier. Go ahead.
No,
Sorry.
absolutely. Speaking of, be you.
Yeah, I wish I knew that earlier because softball is going to end eventually. I'm not defined by softball, and not just student athletes. I think the mental aspects we got to do better as coaches, and parents have to do better too, because parents influence their kids the most. And I see that so much in select softball. It's ridiculous. Like the amount of pressure that is put on a 17-year-old girl or a 16, 15-year-old girl is way more than it ever should be. And it makes me sad sometimes, you know?
So I was reading some of the proposals for getting tournaments during the summer. And
Mhm.
there was one that I would have voted 20 times for yes. And you'll love this. Only coaches and athletes will be allowed into the complex for the games. There'll be no fans in the stands. And I was
Nice.
thinking to myself, that's pretty much the majority of athletes' dream.
Yeah.
Some, don't get me wrong, they love the supportive parents. You had supportive
Oh, of
parents
course. Yeah.
watch the game and they enjoyed it. Like they love the strategy of it.
Hmm.
Some are, they're all Jerry Maguire and they're the agent. But I
Yeah.
just imagine going to a tournament with just college coaches, teams, and their respective coaches. No parents
Yeah.
stressing anybody out.
Yep.
Tell me that players would not play at another level.
Oh, for sure. People who could quiet their minds to the fact that, oh my gosh, this coach is watching our game, they could have fun, like just play the game, try to win, it's not all about you. If you go 0 for 3 but win a game, that's not the end of the world. Like you should be happy.
So I want to transition into your new business venture. I love the fact that you're an entrepreneur because so many people get out of school and they think they've got to go do the 8 to 5. They think they've got to immediately go get some structured job. But
Hmm.
this is where I really see the student athlete differing themselves. You came out with confidence, belief, empowered as an athlete. I don't think the transition was very difficult for you to say, I'm going to start something that I love, that I'm passionate about. So tell me about your entrepreneurial journey. What led you to it?
Yeah.
And what's been your passion for it?
Yeah, I think right after I graduated, or not after I just graduated from Texas A&M, actually when I ended softball, like the year this after my first summer with Scrapyard, I was actually approached by a ex-pro baseball player in the field of network marketing, and I was like, oh, I can do this. Like, like I made a little bit of money, I just want to get my prize paid for or whatever. Everybody says stuff about network marketing. Like, I know I'm gonna get some slack from this, but like I was like, wow, when I made the amount of money I did in the short amount of time, I was like, okay. And I kept getting residual income and I learned more about that, which I did not learn at all in college. And I was like, this is the kind of income that people should be striving for. Like, why would I not want to check when I'm sleeping, or like traveling? Of course, it's a lot harder than you would expect it. And people say it is. So got into that, of course, busted my butt for a year, ended up finding digital marketing too, as well, to tie into that and learning how to build an actual business and through online and social media. I've been doing this since August, learning how to build my own digital marketing funnels, bringing people to me, creating my own email list, all that stuff, like just the whole gist of it in general. And it's been going very well so far. But of course, success comes with great struggles. Of course, I have to have cash flow to be able to put into my business and scale my business. So of course, at the beginning of any entrepreneurial journey or business, I'm sure you know this as well, it's going to be struggles for a couple of years. For several years, you're going to have to work your butt off, even if, like, working another job while you're also working this on the side till like 1 a.m. Right?
Yep.
I'm sure you definitely don't get enough sleep. I know that.
I can completely relate. Midnight to 5 a.m.
Yeah. Yeah. I respect that so much. You're better than me too. You get way less sleep than me. I'm still an athlete. So I'm like, I need
It's your
sleep.
recovery.
Yeah, I need sleep or I feel like crap the next morning. But yeah, even I think I always thought I was able to do it, or I still think, of course. Like I always wanted, or I felt like I could just go for it, because I was always in a position where I needed to go hit on my own. I needed to go lift on my own or do whatever on my own, study on my own. So why not build a business on my own? Like I'm creating my own hours. I have the work ethic to do that and the mindset to do that. And I just started going for it. And here I am. Of course, it's a long way going forward, but I definitely don't doubt myself for sure.
And it allows you to continue your passion of playing professional softball.
Yes, of course. So like most girls, they'll either do like what I do or like coach or do a lot of lessons in clinics, or they have to go graduate assistant or coach or stuff like that. And I didn't want to go the coaching route. So
Yeah, so I could see the transition and the segue for you so easy, just based off your work ethic, just like you said about being disciplined. So kudos to you for that.
Thank
a
you.
lot of the foundation for what Charge Up is based off is leadership. And what I try to do is really tell people that we all have a leader within. It is not title, rank, or authority. And I think you lent so much credibility to that discussion when you talked about how you were as a freshman and a sophomore at A&M before you really took on that role. But now, with the maturation process that's taking place with you going from a high school student to an elite college athlete to playing pro and now in entrepreneurial mode, how do you define leadership today?
I think like my most recent definition of leadership is just inspiring people into action, like inspiring a group of people into action. Of course, like there's different ways like that can look. Like, so leading by example, leading by your voice, or inspirational, motivational, like you do with Charge Up, inspiring people to take action and make a change. I think that's my definition of leadership.
I like that. I like that. And everyone's going to have a unique definition, and that's the beauty of leadership. Is it's usually a response to how you were raised, it's a response to how you were coached, and then it's your personal convictions, and then they all come together and they make that. So I'm going to end in a fun way and kind of put you on the spot here, Ashley, and it's fun for me. So here we go. This is the last little game we're going to play, but it's a simple one. It's just start them, bench them, or trade them. And I don't know if you know these three people, so if you don't, just do your best. But if you do know them, it'll be easy. So Lexi Smith, Tori Vidalas, and Erica Russell. Start them, bench them, trade them.
Do I have to answer that question?
They probably won't watch. Don't worry.
Yeah, right.
I won't tag them or anything. But I got to put you on the spot. You're a leader. You're a coach. You got to make tough decisions.
Can I go? Okay, they're all different positions, though. I would start all of them, of course.
Oh,
they're gonna bench me. They're gonna bench me after this. They're gonna trade me.
This is a tough decision, coach.
I can't win either way. Like, start Lexi, start Tori, start Erica. There you go.
So nobody's sitting and no one's been traded.
Okay. Let me just go.
Change the narrative.
Tori, of course, is still playing. I'm going to start Tori.
Okay.
Bench and trade. Why you got to do this to me, Victor?
You're squirming. This is the best thing ever.
Lexi. All right. I'll just go in order. Bench Lexi, trade Erica. There you go. You have an actual answer.
It was a tough decision. They
know where I live.
That they do. And how about a shout out to somebody who inspired me and continues to inspire me to this day, and I know is so proud of you, and that's your mom and dad.
Shout out, for sure. Shout out to them, of course.
Yeah, those two adore you, as they do your brother, but you're the princess, I'm sure, because, you know.
Right.
I bet dad went to more of your games.
No, of course. I mean, like when he wasn't coaching, of course. Right. My mom went to most, but like if I didn't have the support of them and just the consistency of them, I would not be near where I am today. And that's another thing I'm like really grateful for too.
Yeah,
So
family's
huge
everything.
shout out to them. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Ashley, I sincerely appreciate you taking the time to be a part of the show today. Uh, like I said, so many people are going to learn lessons from you because you bring a different perspective. And I'm excited to see what the future holds for you. I know we're going to get to the other side of this thing. And I'm ready to see you on the beaches in California playing ball, hitting them into the ocean. But I
Oh
wish
God,
you,
hope so.
you're ready too. But I wish you the best of luck. I sincerely thank you. And don't forget, charge up.
Charge up. Thank you so much, Victor. I appreciate it. Oh,
You bet.
shout out
Have a
to
great.
Lexi, Tori, and Erica. I love you. Don't hate me.
You'll pull the trade at the last minute. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, and the bitch.
Hey, have a great day. I appreciate it, Ashley.
Thanks, Victor. You too.
You bet. Bye-bye.
Bye.